Yeah, what's up? How old are you? Do
18.
you support Trump?
Yep.
What's your birth year?
2008, August 4th.
Okay, election held today. Harris versus Trump. Who would you rather vote for?
Donald Trump.
Why do you support Trump?
Mainly on his policy on abortion.
Okay, what about it?
I just think every baby has a right to life.
Okay, what makes you
That's
think?
just generally why.
What makes you think that they're babies?
Because they are contraceptive and they have the potential for human life.
Okay, so they have the
And it's an
potential.
extreme potential for human life. I mean, I believe that
So
abortion, if
potential for
it's,
human life is what's valuable.
I believe so, yes. But I know you're going to make the argument like condoms and,
Yeah. Do you think
uh,
contraceptive is wrong? Contraceptives are wrong,
no, I do not believe contraceptives are wrong.
but they prevent potential life.
But there's a difference between that. I believe that birth begins whenever the sperm enters
Birth
the
begins when
egg.
sperm enters the egg.
I mean, the pregnancy begins whenever the
No.
pregnancy actually begins.
So
That's whenever
implantation.
life becomes inherently valuable.
Why is it valuable after implantation but not prior to implantation?
Because it's simple. Like before implantation, there is no biological life or like the potential is less
There is.
likely.
Life exists at conception.
Correct. Life exists at
So
conception,
what's the
yes.
difference between the life 1 second prior to implantation and 1 second after implantation? That means it's valuable in one sense, but not the other.
I believe that it is valuable, but the contraceptive prevents the entire idea of it being a baby.
Contraceptives are prior to conception,
That is correct.
unless you're referencing an IUD, which can prevent a fertilized egg at conception from implanting into the uterine wall.
That is correct.
Okay, do you think that's murder?
No.
Okay, but it's preventing a conceived egg from
Well, I
implanting
mean,
into the uterine wall.
there's a difference between preventing a human life from beginning and ending a human life that already exists.
Okay, but that IUD is ending a human life that already does exist. In the
But
situation in which it prevents
before
a fertilized egg
fertilization,
from no, it prevents.
okay,
In some instances, it prevents a fertilized egg from implanting into the uterine wall.
before fertilization, there isn't a distinct human organism.
I'm talking about before. I'm talking about implantation.
After fertilization, there is. I mean, that has a potential to life.
When you say distinct human organism, right? You're referencing something with a specific set of DNA, right?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
And I believe that
Okay. So
begins
can I ask you a
whenever
question?
implantation.
Identical twins with the same DNA at the point of conception. Okay. Are they the one person or two people?
I believe they're two individual people.
They're two people, but they have the same DNA.
Yes, but they're two living entities. They can make different decisions after birth.
Okay, so it's based upon how many living entities there are, not predicated off of their DNA.
Correct. I mean, they're both two separate living things
How do you identify that there are two separate living things?
because there's two different things. You have two oranges right next to you. There's one
Yeah, but how
orange
do
and
you?
there's the other orange.
Yeah, but like, how do you identify that they're living?
Because they're breathing, they have a heartbeat, they
They're
have brain
breathing at
movement.
conception?
Obviously not, but they have a heartbeat at conception.
No, they don't.
Not sorry, not yeah, they do. After like
No, they
6
don't.
weeks.
You think a heart exists at conception?
Obviously not at conception, but
I'm asking what at
abortions can
conception.
be made. Abortions are commonly made whenever the heart is beating.
Okay, I'm asking at conception.
At conception, no, there is no heartbeat.
Yeah, so what makes them two different people?
It makes them two different people because they're two different entities.
Based on what measure?
It's the same thing as two oranges in front of you. They're different. I mean, they're obviously not different because they're two oranges, but they're two separate things.
Different based on what quality?
They're two separate things. You're not making an argument here.
Yeah.
They're two separate people. I mean, even if they're the exact same identically,
Yeah,
there's
but what is the
two
note?
of them.
Okay, let me give an example. Right, like when I say that there are two people, I'm referencing two unique subjective experiences, right? Whereas what you're referencing in terms of life is predicated off of DNA, right? That's your notion.
Correct.
Okay, but if they have the same DNA, they're now the same person.
Okay, so they're the exact same person, but two of them.
So
What
so
do
it's
you?
one so it's one human. Okay, so if they're the exact same person, you think that there's not two people, even though there's two zygotes.
If there's two zygotes in there, then it's two
Two
separate
zygotes,
people.
one person,
No, I didn't say that. I'm saying
but they
there's
have the
two
same
separate people.
DNA.
If they have the exact same DNA, then I mean, they're still two separate people.
How do you identify that?
I mean, it's maybe before birth it would be impossible to identify them, but after birth you could definitely identify them.
You can identify them differently once they have two subjective experiences. But the point would then be is that you can't identify the difference at that point in terms of who's a person, right? Of when they're a person. Okay. And I think that the notion of zygotes being persons is absurd, right? Okay. Can I give you an example? Would you rather save
Sure.
two people or one person if you were in a burning building?
I'd rather save two people, obviously.
Okay. Would you rather save two zygotes or one newborn baby?
Um, Probably two zygotes because that's two potential lives.
A newborn baby will burn alive. You'd rather save the two zygotes, sir?
Obviously, it's not a great moral dilemma that I'm in. Obviously, someone's going to die, but I'd rather pick two lives instead of one.
Yeah, no shot you save the two zygotes over the newborn baby. Cooing, bro.
Obviously, if those two
What are you
zygotes
talking
are going
about?
to
The baby's
obviously,
cooing, the baby's crying in the corner, and you're like, I'm
obviously,
going to save the zygotes. What? Hello, sir?
obviously, two zygotes if they have the potential for
Obviously?
life. Obviously, yes, that's two different people.
What do you
That's
mean,
two people
obviously,
versus one.
bro?
In 9 months, they're going to be a baby.
Would you rather save two zygotes or me?
Well, that's a really tough question. That's a moral dilemma that I'm in. I mean, you've had moral experiences. People care about you, but I mean, two people versus one. It's such a difficult question. You know what I mean? Obviously, I'd pick the two people because it's two lives over one.
So you'd save two zygotes over my life?
Obviously, because I believe a zygote is alive.
Obviously. Oh, Jesus Christ, dude. Jesus Christ.
A zygote is alive with potential, and potential life has value.
How do you even have that intuition? That's like the most unhinged intuition ever. To value two zygotes more than Parker. Unhinged intuition. Unhinged
Because
intuition.
it's obviously there isn't a right answer there.
There is a right answer. I'm sorry.
There is
What
no
are you
right
talking
answer
about?
there. Because then two lives are going to be ended if I pick to save you.
Okay.
Two
But-
potential lives. Two
So-
people that could grow up and change the world someday. They're not going to exist anymore. I mean, that's the argument there.
Okay. Well, if you have the intuition that two zygotes are more valuable than Parker Sedgwick, I'm sorry.
Because-
I don't even know how to continue the conversation anymore.
Because two
What type of
zygotes
fucking
have the
stupid
potential
shit is
for
this?
life.
Okay.
They have the
How about
potential
this?
for life.
How about yeah, okay. Sure, man. Let's how about this? I can continue the conversation this way. Do you care more about restricting access to abortion or saving human life?
Saving human life.
Saving human life? So if I could
Correct.
prove to you that voting for Democrats would save millions more innocent human lives from being lost, would you support the Democrats?
Yes.
Okay. So the Republicans, through the use of Doge, cut USAID, which will lead to 14 million additional deaths by 2030, according to a Lancet study. So if you
Can you
care more
repeat that?
about, yeah,
You're lagging.
the Republicans, through the use of Doge, cut USAID, which will lead to 14 million deaths by 2030.
Wow, really? Do you have a source for that?
Yeah, the Lancet.
The Lancet.
Yeah, 2030, 13 million or 14 million additional deaths by 2030, according to a Lancet study. And you'll see that, and that's due to the Doge cuts to USAID, and the Doge cuts in themselves, according to the Government Accountability Organization, which is specifically a part of the federal government, which is an independent agency within the federal government. They determined that Doge actually spent more money than they saved.
Well, the paper doesn't say 14 million people will die. It just models a scenario in which USAID fund cuts continue through 2030 and estimates what could happen under those assumptions. It's
Yeah,
not
it estimates
saying-
estimates what will happen given that these cuts have been made.
exactly. It's estimating.
Of course.
It's a projection. It's not an observed outcome.
Sir,
meaning
I
it's a
said
conclusion.
it will lead to 14 million additional deaths by 2030. What the fuck did you think it was when I said by 2030?
That's obviously that's a wild estimation.
No shit. Wait, do you believe the population of the United States is an accurate estimation?
Based on census data, it's very close to being accurate.
Yeah, but it's
yes.
an estimate, right?
Yes.
So
But it's an accurate estimate based on serious
accurate
facts.
estimate. So this is an accurate estimate based upon a study.
Based on I'm looking. I'm reading it right now. Okay, the study estimates that the aid funding that was associated with the low mortality. What? What is it even saying here? It doesn't prove that every projected death would be solely caused by Doge cuts. It's just assuming here.
No, it's specifically saying that this is due to the cuts. That's what it's estimating, dumbass.
It's estimating that U.S. aid funding was associated with lower mortality and projects that relationships in the future. It
Higher
doesn't project
mortality.
that it's studying every mortality there. It's not just associating two Doge cuts. It could be other deaths.
No, it's specifically looking at it from Doge cuts. If you read the fucking study.
I mean, forecasts aren't facts. Public health models have been wrong
sir,
before.
Every single fucking estimate we use for the economy is based on a forecast. Do you think that they're not able to be used?
They are able to be used.
Even though they're forecasts?
This 14 million is a wild estimate of a number.
Sir, even though they're forecasts?
It's a wild estimate of a number. The 14 million figure is... It's a wild estimate.
No, it's not. Even if you were to assume it was 50% off, you'd still save millions more lives.
Incorrect. Planned Parenthood aborts millions of unborn...
Sir, since Roe versus Wade has been overturned, we've seen an increase in the amount of abortions that have occurred. We haven't even seen a decrease. But even if you categorize every abortion that happens in the U.S., even if you were to take 50% of the 14 million, you still will save more lives from the USAID than abortion over 4 years.
Incorrect. I don't think because of
if you could do math.
I don't think no. I'm arguing with someone else. I don't think just because of Roe versus
You're arguing
Wade,
with someone else that's not on the stream?
No. You're wrong.
I'm wrong?
Ignore that. No, ignore that. I'm simply saying here, I don't think because of Roe versus Wade, more people got abortions. That argument's wrong. I think it's just a common trend that
I'm saying this happened since the overturning of Roe versus Wade. I'm saying that there's no evidence. So I'm saying that there's no evidence that that Roe versus Wade, the overturning of it, has actually decreased abortions. Secondly, you say it's a natural trend after we've seen multiple decades of abortions declining legally in this country.
Yes, but
it's been legal, and we've seen abortions decline by over half.
But people like you have came along and promoted it and say it's okay to.
Then why is it less prevalent than it was like 30, 40 years ago?
You just said it was more prevalent.
Since the overturning of Roe versus Wade, it's less prevalent since 30 to 40 years ago.
Because streamers like you have came along and have glorified it and made it seem
You think I just started glorifying it once the overturning of Roe versus Wade occurred?
But then that's when most people.
And by the way, he thinks I'm causing the abortions.
Obviously, you're not the direct cause of it, but ever since
you just said you streamers, you were glamorizing it. You're trying to say I was the direct cause.
They were like streamers.
So do you think I've caused people to get abortions?
Okay. What?
Do you think I've caused people to get abortions?
Actually, yes. I feel like you have.
So you think I'm accountable? Do you think I'm accountable for murder?
That's a hard question, but no, I don't think you're accountable for murder. No, because they made that decision almost independently. Maybe it's influenced by them, and maybe you gave them a little bit of influence, but they made that decision on their own.
So you think I'm influencing people to murder others?
Influence them to kill zygotes? Yes.
So you think I'm influencing people to murder others?
Yes, if you're influencing people by saying that abortion is right and is okay. Yes, I believe so.
Do you think those that are influencing those to murder other people, do you think that they should be put in prison?
Yes. I mean,
wait, hold up. So you think I should be put in prison because you think I'm influencing others to murder?
No, I believe not. No. There's a difference.
So you don't think people who influence others to murder should go to jail?
Ones that start riots and stuff like that, but you have freedom of speech in the United States. You can influence stuff as long as it doesn't start an uproar or
cause violence or murdering of people.
Incite violence.
Okay, do you think I'm inciting violence by saying that it's okay or should be legal to get abortions?
People have defended...
Wait, sir. Do you think I'm inciting violence by saying that abortion should be legal in the country?
No, you're not inciting violence.
But didn't you just say that I was inciting people to get abortions?
You are convincing people and making people feel right about doing it.
So am I inciting people to get abortions?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, so do you think abortions are violent?
I believe there's a difference between violent, like killing people is different.
So do you think I'm inciting people to so do you think I'm inciting people to murder others?
To murder unborn fetuses, yes.
So if do you think people who incite others to murder should go to jail?
Murder living human beings that are outside of the womb, yes. But I think there's a
Outside of the womb. Wait,
difference.
why only outside the womb?
I believe there's a difference
You
because
said now
an
you're saying outside
abortion.
of the womb.
No,
Whoa.
because I believe there's a difference. Okay.
Now there's a
There's
difference before
no,
and
no.
after birth?
There's a difference because that's a medically performed procedure.
Oh,
Birth is
abortion's a medical procedure now?
it's a medical procedure. Yes. It's
Dude, wait, we just got him to completely become pro-choice. Let's go.
no. That's not
You're
pro-choice at
so
all.
pro-choice now. You just said that abortion is a medical procedure, sir.
It is a procedure. Like medical doctors
Yeah,
are
yeah,
involved,
it's healthcare. Yeah,
and
I
it's a
agree.
process.
Yeah, abortion is healthcare. Yeah, you're right.
But it's
Abortion
not
is
right.
not
It should be
murder, it's
left to the
healthcare,
states.
right?
It's not healthcare, but it's a medical procedure.
Okay, are medical
Just like pulling
procedures
the
not
plug on a-
healthcare?
What?
Are medical procedures healthcare?
Surgeries and stuff like that, yes, is healthcare. But
If
I mean,
medical
it's like
procedures are healthcare, and you said it's a medical procedure, that means it's healthcare.
it's. I mean, it's healthcare in a sense if it's like to save the mother's life, but in a way, it's a procedure done by medical professionals to make sure it's done right. It's not killing
For
somebody
the
like stabbing
benefit
them on
of
the street.
for the benefit of the patient, correct?
The patient is benefiting by not having to carry a baby in their own mind.
So just
but
to
they're
clarify, so
ending
it
a
sounds
life.
like it's healthcare.
And what's your point if it is healthcare?
Oh, that sounds like a liberal take.
But what is your point if it's healthcare?
It's a liberal take. Like saying abortion is healthcare and it's not murder is a pretty liberal take, bro.
And if it is healthcare, then what's your point after that?
That was the entire point.
That it's a liberal take?
Yeah.
That I believe that a medically performed procedure, which is abortion is a procedure done by medical professionals.
Yeah, you think abortion is healthcare. Yeah.
If that's the only
You're starting to sound like a Democrat, sir.
If that's the only conclusion that you can make by me stating an obvious fact that abortion is done by a medical professional or a doctor and is performed in a way where they're taught it's a very general practice, then I guess it would be healthcare under your definition.
Yeah, and yours, right?
But it being healthcare means what exactly?
I'm just saying it's a
Like
liberal take of you, bro.
It's a liberal take.
Yeah, you're just
I
like
still
you were
believe that abortion
accidentally
is
liberal,
wrong.
bro.
I still believe it's wrong because you're ending a life that has the potential.
Oh, okay. So you think it's murder? So do you think I'm inciting people to murder?
I've already repeated
And you
this
said
1,000
yes, right?
times.
And I asked you, do you think people who incite others to murder should go to jail? You said yes.
Correct.
If you think abortion is murder, and you think I'm inciting people to get abortions, then you think I'm inciting people to murder others. And if you think I'm inciting people to murder others,
But there's a difference between stabbing someone on the street
that means you
and
should
a
be, that means you
performed
think I should go to prison
medical operation.
because you said those that incite others to murder should go to prison.
Obviously, people that incite people to go out in the street and kill people brutally and cause them immense pain, people that shoot others, I believe that should be.
Okay, so abortion isn't
criminalized.
murder then.
Abortion is morally wrong, but I don't believe it's
So-
murder, no.
Wait, that means it's murder. Can you define murder?
Murder is the act of killing a living being. And
No,
I
it's
can't,
not
I
just
can't really.
it's not just killing, because if you kill in self-defense, it's not murder, right? Murder is the unjustified killing of a person.
Correct. And I believe that it's unjustified.
Okay, so
to
if it's
kill.
unjustified to get an abortion and it's a killing of a person under your view, then you think it's murder. So if you think I'm inciting people to murder, then don't you think I should go to jail? And if you don't think I should go to jail, doesn't that put into question whether you actually think it's murder?
I believe so. I guess it would be murder then. Under your definition and under my definition.
So you think I'm
I-
inciting people to murder, so I should go to jail?
Yes, under that definition, yes.
So you think I should go to jail? That's what you take from this? You don't
For
take that.
inciting
You
people
don't take from this that maybe I don't think it's murder. You take, yeah, let's send Parker to jail. That's what you take from this?
Because you're inciting people and you're making it normalized for
To-
women
for people to get legal access to abortion. Yeah.
to abort fetuses that aren't even medically necessary to get rid of. They
Yeah.
simply just want to
Hell,
get rid
I
of
would
it.
pay for my girlfriend's abortion if she wanted one.
So a life can be ended. So you have no value for human life at all. Like that
Not
potential
just
life you don't even
cellular.
care about.
I value my partner and their autonomy and their control over their body and their ability to determine when they want to have kids over an embryo. Of course, any fucking day of the
Then
week.
don't have sex. I mean, that's as simple as it is.
Too bad.
If you don't want to take the risk of pregnancy, then don't do it.
No, I'm gonna keep fucking. I'm not stopping.
But then you're by getting an abortion, you're just admitting that I took a risk and I don't want to handle that risk.
Okay,
I
and
don't want to handle the consequences.
based.
And you're killing a potential of life. Like that
Based.
baby will that unborn fetus.
Yeah,
will
if
turn
you
into
don't
a
want that
baby.
pregnancy and you get an abortion, that's based. If you
In what
wanted an
way is
abortion
that
and you get an
based?
abortion, that's based.
And what is your definition of based?
In accordance with my views.
That's in court.
Yeah.
So your views are that it's perfectly okay to
for them to
kill
get an
as
abortion
many-
if they want.
You think it's just perfectly okay to do that?
Yeah.
Morally. You think
Absolutely.
it's morally right to do that?
I think it's totally okay to do that.
How can you have that? How can you have that? Because imagine you were aborted.
You said you would save 2 zygotes over a newborn baby, and you're really that
That's
confused
awful
on why I would save.
That's an awful situation to be in, to have to pick between those. But that's two lives.
Not really.
versus
I mean,
one.
I would easily pick the baby.
I view a zygote as a living person.
Yeah, because you're insane.
I'm not insane. That has a potential for life. It is living.
Okay, sir, can I ask you a question? Do you think it should be
Yeah.
legal to put your baby in a freezer for storage?
It should be legal to put your baby in a no, because that'll kill it.
Okay, so do you think it should be legal to freeze embryos?
Embryos. Ooh. No, I don't think it should be legal. No.
It should be illegal to freeze embryos?
Wait, no. I see where you're coming from. No, because I believe that it should be legal.
So it should be
Because you're
legal to
coming-
put babies in freezers for storage?
Hold on. I'm going to have to look this up. Yeah.
If you think an embryo is a baby, and you think that you can be able to freeze embryos, then you think you should be able to put babies in the freezer for storage.
No, I don't think it should be legal, no. Because an embryo
You think it
is
should be
a potential
illegal
human.
to freeze an embryo?
Yes, because it's a potential human. Unless that can go and become a potential human after like unfreezing.
It can.
Then I believe then it should be legal. Obviously, if it has the potential to come back and be implanted.
So you think
and
it should
become
be
a real baby.
legal to put babies in freezers for storage? So long as they survive.
So long as they survive. But that's a living. That's like a pre. That's
Hey,
an
everybody, you
afterborn
heard it
baby.
here first, folks. You can put your newborns in the freezer, actually, everybody. So
But
long
that's
as they
an
survive
after-
after, actually, everybody.
But that's an after.
Newborns in the freezer, actually, okay. According to
That's
this
an
guy's
afterborn
worldview, and he's
child.
really confused
That's a
about my
child with
worldview, saying
nerve
that abortion should be
endings.
legal, actually.
That can feel pain. That has everything fully developed, and you're putting it in a freezer. It's going to feel obvious pain if you freeze it.
Yeah, so and you don't care about the pain of the pregnant person who has to go through in the context of a pregnancy at the force of your law because you think that you value an embryo more than their fucking autonomy. Crazy idea. I value the autonomy of a pregnant individual more than I value an embryo. I value the experiences of a pregnant individual more than I value an embryo. Any fucking day of the week.
And why do you think that? I mean, I just cannot see how it's morally right that you can take a potential life and end it. I just can't see how you can do that.
Okay, are you vegan?
No, I'm not vegan.
What do you do when you eat food?
I eat animal byproduct. I eat steak. I eat chicken.
Uh-huh. Are they
I eat
living?
eggs. Yes, they are living.
Did you ask that
But
question
I
before
see
you
where
ate
you're going
it?
with
Before
this.
you ate a steak?
I see where you're going.
Did
with
you ask
this.
that question before you had some chicken? Did you ask that question at
I
all?
see where
no.
you're going with this.
So apparently,
And
it's
actually,
not
I have
just
an
life,
argument
right?
against it. I have an argument against it. Humans should have in their biological thinking the benefit of other humans. They should want humans to advance. They should want more humans to exist. Animals, on the other hand, we're not on the same team. Animals are not on the same team as humans.
We're not on the
Humans are
same
all-
team. Okay, so
Humans are all on the same team. They want to advance the human race. They want more babies. They want more people to exist. Animals kill other animals, but you don't see animals killing their own.
Would you rather save one zygote or 1,000 puppies?
One zygote or 1,000 puppies. In those puppies, like, how are they killed? Like, explain. Are they like ruthlessly, or is it just like they just don't exist? It depends. It really does.
They burn alive. The puppies burn alive, dude.
I'd save the puppies, man. I'd have to, because 1,000 puppies.
You save 1,000 puppies over one newborn?
Because they're suffering. They're being burnt alive. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't want those puppies to go through that.
Okay, but you would, but sir, you would save 2 zygotes over one newborn?
Correct, but you didn't specify how that newborn would be. I thought that newborn just
okay. Would you rather save 2 zygotes, or 2,000 puppies?
That's just the same question remodeled.
I understand.
I mean,
trust me, there's a point to this. 2 zygotes or 2,000 puppies?
I mean, if those 2,000 puppies are going to be burned alive, I'm gonna save the puppies.
Okay. Would you rather save 2,000 puppies or 2 newborns, or 1 newborn? Sorry.
I'd rather save the newborn.
So you'd rather save 1 newborn over 2,000 puppies, but you'd rather save 2,000 puppies over 2 zygotes.
Because
but you would not. But listen. Fuck, you just like cut me off and like I was doing this. Okay.
Okay.
So you'd rather save 1 newborn over 2,000 puppies, but you would rather save those 2,000 puppies over 2 zygotes, but you would rather save 2 zygotes over 1 newborn baby. That makes no fucking sense.
You never specified.
That makes zero fuck. I did specify. No. That makes no fucking sense. If you would rather save the fucking newborn over the 2,000 puppies, you'd rather save the 2,000 puppies over the 2 zygotes. How the fuck could you argue you would save the 2 zygotes over the newborn baby?
You're making
that is literally that's a violation of the law of transitivity.
You're misunderstanding here. You never specified how that newborn would be killed. That newborn, you never specified if it would feel pain, if it'd be burned alive.
Sure, we said burned. We said burned alive. That was the hypothetical. That's a whole hypothetical.
You never said the newborn would be burned alive.
Yes, we did.
I would have never said the 2 zygotes then.
What?
Because you never said burned alive.
Oh, that was the specification in the hypothetical.
You never said burned alive. I promise you.
Yes, I did.
I promise you didn't.
Dude, I promise you I did.
I must have not heard that, and I retract my statement. I mean, if it's that one baby being burned alive and they have to feel all that pain, then the 2 zygotes,
So why wouldn't you protect the pregnant individual's bodily autonomy over the zygote? Because they're going to go through pain if they don't get an access to an abortion. They're going to go through financial struggle. They're going to go through physiological risks, psychological risks associated with pregnancy.
We should do everything possible to support the mother without intentionally ending this child's life. I mean, it's not morally right to end the life of an innocent human because a mother will feel pain. It's not like it's going to kill them.
But you just said that you would save 1 newborn over 2 zygotes.
Because so you care more. Going to be
you care more about the negative experience than you care the human life.
That baby is going to be killed. It's going to be burned alive and go through immense pain.
I understand. So you care more about the negative experience than you care about the human life.
That mother is not going to die.
So sir, you care more about the negative experience than you do the human life.
No, I care about the human life considerably more than the experience.
You care about the human life more than the experience.
The pain experience, yes.
So then why would you save 1 newborn baby over 2 zygotes then? Because then if you value life more than you do the experience, then you shouldn't value experience. Listen, please listen. Okay? If you value life more than you do experience, then you would have valued the 2 zygotes more than you value the 1 newborn baby. Why? Because you value the 1 newborn baby, which is a loss of life, plus the negative pain and experiences, or 2 losses of life. So do you understand that you cancel out the loss of life, so that leaves experience and life. So negative experience is more valuable than loss of life here for just cellular notion of life.
Yes, but I do believe that in that case where that baby has to feel that immense pain, and I said there was an exception there with that pain that baby is going to go through. Like, you can't morally say that those 2 zygotes, it's obviously awful situations both ways, but those 2 zygotes, I mean, they're not going to feel any pain whenever they're aborted.
I understand. What you're not understanding, though, is think of this like a math equation. Okay? You have two zygotes, one newborn baby, okay? Right? That you value the newborn baby more than you do the two zygotes, okay? So
Correct.
two losses of life, one loss of life. One loss of life plus negative experience more valuable than two losses of life. If you do it like a math equation, you can take one loss of life out and one loss of life out. Okay? If you have one loss of life out and one loss of life out, you're just left with one loss of life and a negative experience. That means you value the negative experience, them not going through that, more than you value the loss of life.
So you're arguing that experience is what gives someone the right to life.
Subjective experience
Is that
is
what
the
you
right to
believe,
life.
honestly?
That was not what I was just arguing, but that is an
But
argument that I
is that
have.
I'm trying to look into the future. I believe that that's what you believe in. That experience is what gives someone the right to life,
Yeah, but
correct?
that wasn't what I was just arguing.
All right, now I want to refute that because people in comas and people under anesthesia would have less value because they're not consciously experiencing anything. Wouldn't that be true? If you value someone's experience, then people that are in a coma have less value than someone living,
No, that's not true.
correct?
That's not true because my
But
value is.
that's
Sir,
under your
let me
belief.
explain.
That experience is what gives someone the right to life.
I understand. Let me explain. It's past or present and future subjective experience. So you have to have the condition of both, of past or present and future.
What do you mean by that?
Past or present experiences and future subjective experiences. You have to have the conjunction of those traits, both those traits together, either past or both past or present and future.
Then you're still making a person's value depend on their mental abilities rather than what they are.
Based upon the ability to have a subjective experience. Yes.
And that unborn fetus can have a human experience,
It's never established one yet.
but it can. That's the difference.
Yeah, but
It can.
yeah, but it hasn't yet. Therefore, it doesn't meet the conjunction.
But it can. That's the whole thing. It has that potential to be able to.
I don't value
That's the problem.
potential. I don't value potential more than I value a subjective experience.
So a potential threat you don't value at all, but a real threat you value. Correct?
So say that one more
Under
time.
your argument, you wouldn't value a potential threat at all, but you would value a real threat. Correct?
I never said I don't value potential threats.
You said
when
you don't value potential life. That's what you just said.
Yeah, I take a potential threat differently than I take a just potential for life. Because when I say potential threat,
But you
of
just
course,
said you don't value potential life at all. Correct?
I don't value potential alone, right? And enough to be able to produce a personhood level of value.
So you wouldn't value a potential threat at all. Correct? Like if a threat was made to someone, you wouldn't value it at all because it's just potential, right?
You're
You would only
misunderstanding.
value it after.
This is a value for personhood. This is not related to risks.
Yes, but you're saying you don't
my-
value potential at all.
Yeah, my notion for risk management is different than my notion for value for personhood.
Of course, it's going to be slightly different because, I mean, I argue that one baby that's going to feel immense pain if they're going to be killed versus two zygotes, of course, it's going to be different because there's different biological specifications. But that thing still has the potential for life, and it's obviously morally wrong for that life to be terminated. It has the potential to have a job, have kids, have a family, and do all these things. You know what I mean?
What about the potential for the pregnant individual that they're losing out on because of the fact that you're forcing them to go through a pregnancy? What about
They're not losing out
what
on
about
the
the
pregnant
rights of the individual who's currently here that is losing access to autonomy over their body? And let me ask you a question. Do you think that there should be vaccine mandates?
Vaccine mandates. You know, that's a tough question for me. Vaccine mandates. I believe yes, in some way, yes, there should be vaccine mandates. And
I mean,
that's
do you think the COVID vaccine should have been mandated?
How it was handled was not correct. I don't believe that it should have been mandated in the way it was.
It wasn't mandated, but you don't think it should have been mandated, even
It
though
was mandated for most
so you don't
jobs.
believe in restricting access to, or you don't believe in restricting bodily autonomy to save human life?
I believe that you should restrict body autonomy to save human life.
So then you agree with vaccine mandates?
I do believe so. I believe, yes, I would agree for most vaccine. I already said I believe for most vaccine mandates, but definitely not the COVID one because the COVID one came out so fast. I believe there should be questions and there should be a bunch of studies to back it up.
Okay. Well, then you're going to vote for whoever's going to save the most innocent human lives, correct?
I'm obviously going to vote for the person that I believe that aligns with my beliefs.
Which is going to be the one that saves the most innocent human lives, correct?
I believe so, yes.
So if I could prove to you Democrats would save more innocent human
You've
lives, you'd
already
vote for
gone
them?
over this, man, and you went for that ridiculous study. That's just an estimation.
We have already used studies are all estimates, okay? Sir, do you
That's
know
a
what
wild estimation too.
sir, do you
It's
know what a study is?
correct. I understand that, but it's a
Okay, so
wild
then like you
estimation.
claiming it's an estimation is not a debunk of the study, dude.
It has no like real factual basis to
It
support that
does.
14 million
Studies do
deaths.
have, yes, they do. They have an evidentiary basis of doing so. You just
And can you
claiming,
link that
oh, they
study again?
don't. Yeah, look up the Lancet 14 million USAD.
All right.
All right. In the meantime, while he looks that up, let me thank some people real quick. Give me a quick second, everyone. Megan, thank
You're
you very
gonna
much for the
thank
dollar.
me.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate. Thank you. I have no clue, right? Thank you so much. I really appreciate. Thank you. As well as M, thank you very much for the $20. Thank you very much. I really appreciate. Thank you. Get some W's for them in the comment section right now. Thank you very much. I know, right? I know. Oh my gosh, M. Like I feel like I run into this so much, isn't it? Isn't it crazy? Thank you so much. I really appreciate. Thank you. Ronnie, thank you very much for the $20. Thank you very much over on Venmo. Thank you very much. Get some W's for them in the comment section right now. Thank you so much for the kind words. Lila, thank you very much for the $10. Thank you very much. I really appreciate. Thank you. Exactly. I'll make sure to ask that. Reed, thank you very much for the $10 as well. Thank you very much. I really appreciate. Thank you. That's so funny, Reed. Kelsey as well. Thank you for the dollar. Thank you very much. I really appreciate. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, then we wouldn't be able to talk to any of them, right? Saga as well. Thank you very much for the $20. Thank you very much. I really appreciate. Thank you. It doesn't care about potential loss of life. Again, due to the potential cuts of US or due to the cuts of USAD. Exactly. User 86. Thank you very much for the Viking Hammer. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. As well as thank you very much, Kathleen. Thank you very much for the $25 over on PayPal. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you. And by the way, Christina, thank you very much. Really appreciate. Thank you. Yeah, I had to. I'll have to try to find that. I don't know how to unban people over on YouTube yet, so I'll have to figure that one out. But yeah, give it a quick second, everyone, for this guy to find the information. I have some people to thank over on YouTube
Oh,
Super
are
Chat
you
as
good
well.
now?
I have some people to thank over on YouTube Super Chat, and then we
Okay.
can continue on. If you want to support me as always, everyone, Venmo, PayPal, link tree in the bio, as well as the description of the YouTube, as well as you can support me over YouTube Super Chat as always. Let me thank some people. Casey, thank you very much for the $10. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Pepper, thank you for the dollar. Christopher, thank you for the $11. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Get some W's for them in the comment section right now. Thank you. I don't know if they have, honestly. As well as Elizabeth, thank you very much for the $10. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Get some W's for them in the comment section right now. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Exactly, right? Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Jordan, thank you very much for the $10 as well. Thank you very much. I'll definitely make sure to do that. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. As well as King of the Golden State, thank you for the $10. Noel, thank you very much for the $5. Thank you very much. King of the Golden State again, thank you for the $10 twice. Thank you very much. Brittany with the $5. Tatiana, thank you very much for the $5 or for the $2. Democracy Dies in Darkness, thank you for the $5. Thank you very much. Yeah, hit that thumbs up, of course. Thank you. Elizabeth with the $10. Thank you very much. And King of the Golden State with the $10. Thank you. I think I am fully caught up there. Alrighty, go ahead, go back into what you were saying.
Okay. So from what I've read on the study, it's predicting deaths, but it shows a rough range between 8.5 million and 19.7 million. It's a huge range. This is a drastic estimate. This isn't just like a close narrowed in like what economics would use. This is like 10 million range.
Sir, from anywhere within that range, it's millions more lives saved. You know that, right?
How many deaths are attributed to Planned Parenthood?
Sir, you're just asking how many deaths come from abortion per year. But what you're not understanding
Correct.
is that that's not going to be the change due to Trump's policies. Since we've seen Trump's policies take place, we've seen an increase in the amount of abortions that have occurred, not even a decrease.
Yes, because people like you go on and they promote this stuff and they make it normalized. Like it's became a normalized thing to get an abortion just because you don't want to handle the consequences of a pregnancy.
Yeah, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I don't see what the issue is. But
So
that
you
already
believe,
existed. Okay, so that's
so
still
you
going to
believe if
exist either
somebody,
way.
so you believe if somebody goes to the casino and gambles all their money and loses it all, they shouldn't have to face the consequences of that. They shouldn't have to give up the money.
What?
They
Obviously,
knew whenever
obviously
they were
they would
going.
have to. Obviously, they'd have to give up the money, but I think there should be social safety nets in place so that if that does ever happen, that someone's not going to die because of that.
But they made that social conscious thing to accept that
You're not
risk.
understanding though. You understand
They
that's
made that they made that acknowledgement that there was a risk in place, and they took that risk. They're
you
at fault for that.
okay. So can I ask you a question?
Yeah,
Do you agree that when you go to a party, there's a risk of you being a?
correct.
Does that mean you're responsible for that if it happens to you?
No, because that's a criminal act.
Huh?
That's
Wait. So again, just because there's a risk of something happening, given that you engage in an action, doesn't mean you're responsible for the outcome of said action.
you are responsible for the act of creating a baby because you're participating in an act that literally is known to do it. Like it's
Yeah, but it's incredibly low likelihood. Like we know that if
no,
you,
the
if you,
likelihood of having
sir, we know that if you drive your car, you can get into a car accident,
correct.
right?
But if you're not at fault for the accident, if you did nothing wrong,
Yeah,
then
so
you're not responsible.
oh, okay, exactly. So
But
then
you
like
were participating in that sexual activity.
okay, so how is that doing something wrong?
You were taking a risk. Like you were taking a
And
predominant
driving
risk.
is taking a risk.
And I don't believe that a human life is
Do you agree
something
driving
bad.
is taking a risk?
Yes, driving is a risk, yes.
Okay, so are you responsible for anything that happens to you given that you decided to drive?
If you make a mistake, yes. Legally, yes.
Not if you make a mistake. Because again, you're saying the mistake is having sex.
I believe that, yes,
Maybe
you
with
would be
you,
responsible.
but not like in general.
But yes, if you got in a car and you acknowledge that there is a risk that you can get in a car accident, yes, you are responsible because you acknowledge the risk. You're taking the benefit of
So
traveling somewhere safer.
so if someone hits you while you're driving, are you responsible?
No, you're not
But
responsible.
that was a
Legally,
risk. But sir, that was a risk that could happen from driving your car.
yes, that is a risk, but you're responsible for your own death because you chose to take that avenue.
Okay, what?
Legally, you wouldn't be. Legally, you wouldn't be.
You chose
but
to
you
take the
chose-
avenue of driving. If you die in a car accident, is that your fault?
You chose to drive. If you never
So
chose
is it
to
your
drive,
fault
then
that you
wouldn't
died that
die.
day?
It legally no, but more like subjectively yes. If you wouldn't have drove that day, then no.
So you think it's so if someone dies in a car accident due to a drunk driver, you believe it's the fault of the person who died?
No, not legally or anything like that. But subjectively, if you had not drove that day,
Sir,
then you would have not.
So
been
is it
killed.
their fault?
You are acknowledging a risk.
So sir, is it their fault?
Legally, no, it's not their fault.
No, not legally, from your position, from your perspective.
From my position, that if they had not gotten the car that day, then they would have not died. And they chose to take that risk of getting inside of a car because they wanted to get to a destination quicker.
So you think they're responsible for dying that day?
Just the same way as if you went to a casino and you gambled all your money and you lost it, you are responsible.
I
you
think that's
acknowledge the risk.
Do you realize how one of them specifically includes it within the context of the original action, whereas the other one doesn't? Like when you chose to drive, that has nothing to do with you getting into a car accident. That's obviously an undesirable thing that can result from that. A very low likelihood, as opposed to like specifically if you're gambling, you are incurring a high likelihood of risk, right?
Incorrect. I mean,
A significantly higher likelihood of risk.
somewhat. Yes.
Do you
it
think
depends
the
on what
risk
kind of gambling you're
in
doing.
gambling is anywhere near comparable to the risk associated with getting into
It
a
depends
car?
on what gambling you're doing.
Okay, what
Like,
type of
if you're
what
playing
type of
blackjack or
gambling
something like that.
what type of gambling has a sub 1% risk?
Blackjack.
Blackjack has more than a 1% risk. You
It has
dumbass.
the
How
house
do I
edge
talk
is
to these people, dude?
No,
What
no,
the
no.
fuck do
That's
you
it.
mean has a 1% risk? This guy's so
That-
fucking stupid, dude.
You have no clue what you're talking about.
What do you mean I have no
Blackjack?
fucking clue? Have
Look
you
it up.
ever
Look
played
it up.
blackjack?
I've played blackjack. Oh,
Then
look
you
it
know
up.
damn well it's not a 1% risk.
Look it up. Look it up right now.
I
Look
don't
up
need to look it
Blackjack
up.
House Edge. Look up Blackjack House Edge. Perfect
Sir,
strategy.
I don't need
It's
to look it up.
0.5%. It's 0.5% edge. That means your risk is 0.5%. That's how much money you're projected to lose if you play perfect strategy over the long run. That's obvious. I mean, if you
That's
would look
perfect
it up
strategy,
right now,
by the way. Is that the average strategy?
the average strategy would probably be like 2%. But normal people going into casino know perfect strategy. If you're gambling hundreds of dollars, then you know perfect strategy. It's almost predominant. And I mean, heck, if you're that stupid not to play perfect strategy, then I don't know why you're in a casino.
Okay. So do you think that if there's a 1% likelihood of you getting if you go to a particular party and you go to that party and you get is that your fault?
You knew there was a 1% chance. I mean, legally, no, it's not your fault, but
Do
you
you think
knew there was a
morally,
risk
personally
and you
yourself?
went to
Do you
that
think
area.
morally and personally yourself it's your fault?
I would feel stupid for going to that party.
Is
I
it
would
moral?
feel,
Is it morally or personally yourself, your responsibility? Is it your
I
fault?
would feel, I would feel if I had, I would feel better if I had not gone to that party
Yeah,
because I knew
of
the
course, because you
risk.
got to. But I'm asking you, if there's a 1% risk, okay, and you know that going to the party, you go to the party. Are you responsible for that? Are you at fault for being a yes or no?
I believe yes.
This is victim blaming right here. You
This
claiming,
isn't no,
yeah, yes, it is,
because
Brad.
legally, I believe that
Brad,
legally.
stop for a second. You quite literally just said someone's responsible for being raped because there was a 1% chance of going to of that happening to them if they went to a party. So it's not you're not saying it's the fault just of the individual specifically that did it to them. You're saying it's the fault of the individual it happened to. Do you realize that
No,
that is
I'm
fucking disgusting, right?
responsibility and moral status aren't the same thing.
What?
The responsibility of who it's on, like the moral status of the matter is like the responsibility is obviously on like the person who's doing it.
Yeah, you're saying
But
it's the
from
fault of the person who was assaulted that they were assaulted.
but they took the risk. They took the risk of going to that party knowing that there's a
Taking a
1%
risk of going to
chance.
a party does not mean you're at the reason or the fault of being assaulted. That is disgusting mentality.
Legally and morally, I believe that it's obviously on the person that initiated
Wait,
it.
I'm sorry.
But you have some
What type of
involvement in
fucking
it.
absurd argument is this?
You have some involvement in
Going
it.
to a party is not consent to being raped.
Obviously, it's not.
So
But you
then
have
how are they at
involvement to it.
fault?
You took a risk. You
So
knew
how
that
are
there
they at
was a
fault?
1%. Because they went to the party.
Going to a party does not mean that you consented to being assaulted.
You definitely did not consent. And obviously, it's a wrong thing that you were, but you took a risk. It's the same thing as going to a
But that does
casino.
not make you at fault for it.
I didn't consent to losing 20 blackjack hands in a row, but I did.
Like I think this is a very obvious thing. If you drive a car and you get hit by someone else and you had no fault in it, you are not at fault. Easy thing to comprehend. Even though there was a risk of you getting into a car accident if you got into your fucking car. Why do you argue such stupid fucking bullshit? What do you get out of this? This is just fucking stupid.
No, it's not,
Yes,
man.
it is. This is objectively fucking stupid.
You're taking out these outlandish scenarios.
I'm not thinking.
and
No,
you're trying,
this is just fucking stupid.
It's not because you're
It
trying
is.
to
It is
argue.
absolutely stupid. What are you talking about?
You're failing to realize that every action has a risk, and you accept that risk.
I understand that things have risks. Yeah, the risk of this conversation is losing brain cells.
You have a very small responsibility for that. If you had not completed that action, there would be no possibility for that to happen.
Yeah, that's saying everyone is responsible for everything happening to them because they decided to walk outside.
The majority.
Wait.
The majority.
Sir. Do you think walking outside has a risk?
Yes, you could be hit by a meteor.
Okay. If you walk outside and someone murders you in the street, are you at fault for that?
You knew there was a risk. I mean,
dude, these people, they're not serious. They are not serious people, dude.
Parker.
What type of fucking person thinks that in their head? Who the fuck thinks this?
Listen to this simple fact. Listen to the simple fact. The 99.9999%.
When I say I genuinely talk to the dumbest people on the planet, like I'm actually
You're not
serious.
listening to me. You're not listening to me. 99.9999% of responsibility is on the murderer. But you have a very, very small percentage chance. I mean, indespicably small.
I don't think you're responsible for it at all.
Because you took a risk. You acknowledged that there is a risk.
You walked outside, sir. You walked outside.
Yes, you walked outside. You knew there was a risk that you could be hit by a meteor on a 1 in 1 quintillion chance of happening. But you still knew that there was a risk. So you are at a very small percentage responsible for that.
No, I don't. I think that's an absurd way to refer to this because when these things are caused by other agents and they're not caused by our actions, within a certain level of responsibility of a due standard of care, we don't see them to have responsibility. Just because you have a risk when you engage in action does not mean you have responsibility.
Hold on. You voluntarily accepted a risk. You're obviously not morally responsible because you didn't cause it. But
oh my God, wait.
You're not morally responsible. You're not morally, like, you shouldn't morally think it's bad, but you do have some risk in acknowledging that. Like, you're acknowledging that there is a risk and you're choosing to do so anyway. So you have responsibility. That's like,
That's not what I consider. I don't consider that
if
responsibility
you
here
choose, like,
within
that's,
that
if
because
you
it met the
choose
due
to go
standard
100 miles an hour,
because you didn't do anything negligent.
if you go 100 miles
In
an
order
hour
to be
down the interstate,
responsible, you have to do something negligent.
in what way does that make any sense? I mean,
Do you
like,
think it's negligent to walk outside
if there's a hailstorm, yes.
and on a
It,
typical fucking day, dumbass?
on a typical day, I do not believe it's negligent to walk outside. No,
Okay,
I mean, I believe
but
there
yet
is
there's
some
a
risk that you
small
take.
risk that you could be literally destroyed by a meteor or struck by lightning. Do you think you're responsible for being struck by lightning if you walk outside and it happens?
If it's storming, obviously, yes. I
It's
mean,
not storming. It's not even storming yet. You walk outside. You're going to the grocery store. You go to the grocery store. You get back. By the time you do, you get fucking shocked by lightning.
if
Okay,
it's a perfectly sunny day with no clouds at all, you can't be struck by lightning.
sir. I'm sorry. Like you're saying, you shouldn't go outside if there's fucking clouds out. You think that's negligent?
You're acknowledging that there is a risk that you could be struck by lightning. Like, that's the very small risk. Everything in life has risks.
These people
Parker,
are so fucking. Dude, stop.
that's not dumb.
Stop. It's not negligent. Okay. In order to be responsible, you have to have negligence involved. Honestly, if you can't understand this, there's no point to have a conversation with you. You're genuinely not
I
smart
can't
enough.
understand this,
No,
but
you're
what I'm
not.
arguing
You're
here,
not. You're not responsible. You're not.
you're simply just trying
You
to
are not a
dodge here.
smart enough adult
By,
to understand what responsibility even is.
you're failing to acknowledge the fact that everything has risk, and you serve some responsibility for taking those risks.
Yeah.
Correct.
So, yeah. So
You serve responsibility for
if
the
my
risks that you
computer
take.
exploded right now, would I be responsible for that?
Can you just answer my question first?
If my computer exploded right now, would I be
I
responsible
asked
for
the
that?
question first. Can you please answer
If my
it before?
computer exploded right now, would I be responsible for that?
It depends on what you did.
I bought the computer.
For it to explode, something would have had to go wrong.
So am I responsible for the computer blowing up?
You took the risk of buying the computer. I mean, you're failing to realize that everything in life has risk. And
Okay.
once you
Okay. So
accept that
so if I'm
risk,
running on the track and I
you're not
and I
letting
get
me
a
make
heart
my point.
attack.
You keep on
If I'm
starting
running on the
these new
track and I get a heart
arguments.
attack, right? Am I responsible for that?
Let me make
am I
my
at fault
point
for that?
first. I'll address every single point you have if you just let me make this really, really simple point first. All right.
I
Everything in
hate these
life
people.
has everything in life has risk. And once you acknowledge that risk and you choose to do that activity anyways, you serve some type of responsibility.
So
Is that not correct?
I have responsibility right now for losing brain cells.
Yes, I believe so. I guess if you're losing brain cells.
So if I want to remove that responsibility, I should remove you from the stream.
I guess if you wanted to remove me and dodge this, I guess you could.
This isn't dodging.
I mean,
this
you're
is saving
failing.
Sir, I'm not dodging. I'm saving brain cells.
You're failing to acknowledge.
Sir,
my
I'm not
point here.
dodging. I'm saving brain cells.
When you're doing an activity that involves,
I don't
any
want to
type
be
of
at fault
risk,
for losing brain cells,
you're taking responsibility.
but I don't want to be at fault for everyone in the live stream losing brain cells.
I guess if you then never debate again, I guess.
No, I can't just debate with you or any Trump supporter.
Then why are you running this page?
Dude, you understand? I'm making a joke based upon your argument of risk, dumbass.
I understand you're making a joke of it, but the problem here is you failed to address my claim that everything in life has risk, and once you acknowledge that risk,
but you understand that,
you
like,
serve
if
responsibility. You serve responsibility once you
Yeah.
take a risk, correct?
You understand that just incurring some notion of risk does not mean you're responsible or at fault for said action. Okay?
Not fully, not in a majority.
If I engage in action that a point zero 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 1% chance of it leading to a particular outcome, and I engage in said action, do you think I'm responsible or at fault if that happens?
If that chance happens, you're 0.000000001% responsible in that way.
Okay, so your notion of responsibility is simply just saying if you choose to engage in action that has said risk, then you are responsible. You think then literally everyone is responsible who gets murdered for being murdered. Because living life, there's a chance of being murdered.
Correct, there is a chance of being murdered, yes.
So every single person who's ever been murdered was responsible for that?
In a very small way, yes. And in a very, very indespicable, very small percentage way, yes.
Do you think children who are at school, do you think they're responsible for being a
Not in a significant. You keep on arguing like it's a significant way, like they're responsible. I don't think you're understanding what I'm arguing here. The risk is proportional to the responsibility.
I understand that you're saying that, but I think that's a ridiculous argument to make within the
That's not a
context of the
ridiculous argument to
situation
make.
because you need to have a negligence standard. If you don't have a negligence standard, then you're going to say that people who are victims of horrible crimes, right, are responsible for those horrible crimes happening to them, which is clearly ridiculous. Okay? I understand what you're trying to say. What you're saying, though, is stupid because you need to have a negligence standard.
If you knowingly choose an action,
Was Charlie Kirk responsible for being murdered?
he had zero security. He
did have security, unironically.
He had like 2 bodyguards. He didn't have like an actual
more
security.
than 2 bodyguards. I was there at the event when it happened.
He didn't have like an actual like serious security team.
He actually
proportional.
Did.
He did.
They did. Yeah.
Then how was he murdered? Then how did that guy so easily kill him?
They just didn't account for that one thing.
Then
yes, he did have a security team. He had like a full-on security team. I was literally there.
Then he hired a stupid security team, one that doesn't survey every
So do you think he was responsible for being murdered?
Responsible in a very, very, very small way.
So you think Charlie Kirk was responsible for him being murdered?
If you knowingly choose an action that carries foreseeable risk, you have responsibility for the outcome if it materializes.
So Charlie Kirk was responsible for being murdered?
In an indescribably small way, yes. Because he hired a security team that wasn't.
Do you realize how absurd this is, bro?
That's not absurd.
So was Trump responsible for being shot?
Trump is responsible. Well, in a way, Trump, yes, he is responsible because he chose. He is responsible. It's such a small.
Trump is responsible for being shot at?
Your responsibility is proportional to the chance of it happening.
Oh my god, dude! I'm done having this conversation with you. You're so stupid.
I don't think you're understanding. I don't think.
No, I just think that this is such a ridiculous notion of responsibility.
Can you just get to this through your head? The responsibility is proportional to the chance of it happening.
I understand that you're saying that, but without applying any sort of negligence standard, it just sounds really stupid.
So
I'm done talking about this with you. If you want to keep talking about this, you can go talk about it on your own live.
See, it doesn't make any sense to me. But do you want to go on to a different point?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was wanting you to lead.
No, I know you'd always want me to lead, but go ahead, make your point.
My point is, let's just go back to abortion. What about your argument against the? You never finished that argument with the 2 zygotes versus 1 baby argument.
I don't want to talk to you about this anymore.
You don't want to talk to me about any type of abortion anymore.
Honestly, I don't want to talk to you anymore. I think you're pretty stupid, to be honest with you.
You think I'm stupid because you fail to get it through your head.
No.
That a very simple concept.
How old are you?
Hi, I'm 18. I was born 2008, January 3rd.